So you know the ones where you're listening to a song that you really like and you're like, that's my tune.
That's my tune. Hey, this is JJB and this is episode 18 of That's My Tune, the podcast providing song reviews and interviews. I can't believe I'm almost at the 20th episode mark. Like, what should I do to celebrate? Should I buy myself a big cake? Suggestions, please. Anyway, I'm just being silly. So last week I had the pleasure of interviewing Jai, talking about his song Tinder, and I love the vibe of it. I love how he took what was pretty much a bad situation and turned it into something danceable and fun. Do you know what I mean? So but this week I'll be interviewing artist Ado, talking about his song Getaway. And I love this song because it's got such a nice chilled vibe. Like, when you hear the song, you literally want to get away with what's going on in the world today, and it feels like an escapism. You think of sun, sand and sea and chilling in Ibiza somewhere. So yes, this is an Afro-House vibe. This is a genre we haven't delved into just yet, but you know me, I like to explore different things. So I'm going to stop talking, enjoy this song, and I'll be right back after this, talking to the man himself. So everybody, I'd like to introduce you to the Afro-House artist, Ado. Yay!
Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. What's Ghana saying right now?
Ghana's beautiful. It's the land of freedom. So yeah, living it large out here, enjoying it for sure.
In fact, let's explore that for a second before we get into the music. Take me through that. Were you born in London, then went to Ghana several times, and then you decided to settle in Ghana? How did that come about?
Yeah, for sure. You said it perfectly. So born and raised in London, lived in the UK my whole life. And then past few years, like in 2018, I was invited to Ghana for a dinner banquet with Prince Charles.
Okay.
So that was the first time I had been in 7-8 years. And being in Ghana at that point and networking with certain people and just seeing the difference in Ghana and just the peace I felt when I was in Ghana just inspired me to keep going, keep coming back, sorry. So between 2018 and 2021, I think I had been back around 8 or 9 times and then made the move at the back end of 2020. So September 2020, we permanently decided to move over.
Okay. Wow. So what inspired you to move? What's the circumstance that made you feel like, you know what, apart from the peace aspect, what made you feel like, okay, I feel like my lifestyle would be better in Ghana?
Yeah, I just felt to myself that there was no longer a massive overarching benefit of living in the West. Pardon me, fundamentally, right. Because I just looked at the levels of stress you go through,
right,
and just the lifestyle, and it felt to me that there was no longer really a massive benefit of being there. Like the cost of living there as well no longer matched the advantages of living there.
Right.
I, as well as obviously music, I run a business which is online. And we sell worldwide. So no matter where I live, it doesn't really make a difference to the operations of that business, as I have team in the UK and team in the US.
Right.
So as a result, I just felt like it was best to make a decision which was going to be best for the lifestyle of myself and my family.
Okay.
And Ghana came out on top.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. So we'll explore family life and your business in just a moment. I want to talk about your music for a moment. So you released an EP. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I released an EP last year, October. EP is called Focus, comprises of 4 tracks. So we've got Getaway, Find a Way, Focus, and Weather the Storm. And yeah, it's just me coming back to my first love, which has always been music.
Okay.
I was lead singer of a gospel band with my brothers when I was younger.
Okay.
And sort of put it all on hold and just pulled music the minute I started my online business, my watch brand, Vitae London.
Right.
And then for the past 5 years now, I've just been putting in so much work with Vitae to get to a point where it has some stability.
Right.
And then as soon as we reached that point of stability,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, cool. Let me invest back into what I've always loved, and that's music. So yeah, I'm glad to be back in doing it.
Oh, excellent. So you said you were part of a band growing up. So were you guys big? What was the name of it? Your band?
So yeah, the name of our gospel band was called Divine Impact.
Oh, okay. Yes, that rings a
Yeah,
bell.
yeah. So yeah, we did quite well. Like we toured the UK,
Uh-huh.
gigs in Europe, like and it's weird, like I listen back to that music now and it was
Yeah.
kind of ahead of its time. Like if we dropped it now, it
Yeah.
would still be relevant.
Okay.
So yeah, like it was good fun. Like I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just got to a point where like we all got married pretty young. So then
Mm-hmm.
we're all like building our families and our
Yeah.
homes.
Right.
And then I just had to go like 110 with Vitae.
Mm-hmm.
So for a season of focus, I just put everything else on hold.
Right.
Like also used to run a photography business. I put
Mm-hmm.
that on hold.
Right.
I put literally everything on hold to
Mm-hmm.
give Vitae the energy it needed.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've got it to a more stable point. It's still
Yeah.
getting the majority of my energy,
Right.
but then I can now invest time, energy, resources into music as well.
Okay. Excellent. So I want to focus on one of your songs from the EP called Getaway. I've been listening to
Yeah.
it over the last couple of days and I love the vibe. Like when I listen to it, I think of like being in Ibiza somewhere and just chilling with your
Mm,
people is like that kind of, you just want to literally get away from anything and
100%.
everybody and just go on holiday. So I'd like to know what inspired you to write Getaway. Where was your mindset at the time? Talk to me.
Yeah, I actually wrote Getaway during lockdown, the
Okay.
first lockdown in London.
Makes sense.
And I feel like with my music, I always want to create like a sense of escapism.
Right.
I want my music to be like in essence, a sanctuary people can go to
Mm-hmm.
kind of escape the realities of what they face day to day, or
Mm-hmm.
to actually take them to a place
Mm-hmm.
of remembrance of an alternative reality, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole impetus with Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking about holidays I've been on. I'm thinking about times I've been away with the ones I love, and
Mm-hmm.
how it just gives you it's like it refreshes you. It gives you like a new lease of hope, even when
Yeah.
you face the day to day when you get back. So yeah, I
Mm.
just wanted to create a song that had that energy and could really push people to think and escape the realities that we've been facing.
Mm. And I see you collaborated with another artist, Shay Universe. So how did you guys collaborate with that?
Yeah, 100%. I've been a fan of Shay for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's an incredible singer and also just an incredible artist in general.
Right.
And when I was creating the EP,
Mm.
I just had her on my list of people that I really wanted to work with and collaborate with.
Mm-hmm.
We were aware of each other, so she knew of me through obviously what I was building with Vitae. I was aware of her through her music. So
Mm-hmm.
we had connected on social media
Right.
ahead of it. And also my brother, who co-produced Getaway, had
Okay.
actually produced songs for Shay in the past.
Okay.
So yeah, there was already some kind of synergy.
Mm.
So I wrote Getaway with a friend of mine called Fadila.
Okay.
And yeah, the way she wrote that second verse, I
Mm.
instantly thought like Shay would absolutely body it. She would do such a good job on it.
Mm.
So I sent it to Shay and she agreed. And thankfully she jumped on it and she just really added and elevated the track. So
Mm.
yeah, it's been
Okay.
amazing.
Brilliant. So what made you decide to go for the Afro-House genre as opposed to doing gospel again, like in the
Yeah,
past?
yeah. I mean, I guess I'd got to a point where even as like a believer, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be restricted to the four walls of a church in essence.
Yeah.
I guess for me, like, I've even with my like my fashion business, I've seen the breadth and the depth of people we've been able to impact, been
Mm-hmm.
able to reach,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I want the same for my music. I don't want to be limited
Right.
or restricted.
Mm-hmm.
And then in terms of the sound, Like, I've been a massive fan of Afro-House for a minute.
Okay.
And I felt like there weren't there's people killing it in some subgenres of Afro-House. So when you look at Amapiano, there's probably like a new track released every single day. Like, it's really exploding as a genre. But I don't know, the kind of Afro-House I make, I didn't see many people making it, which led me to believe there must be a bit of a gap. So yeah, I'm always excited to work in spaces where it's either developing or on the come up, or it's quite a unique niche. So for instance, selling watches, everyone's like, what the heck is this guy doing selling what? Like, it threw people off.
Yeah.
Made them like wonder, like, oh wow. And I feel like it's kind of similar with the music. Like, not many, I don't think I know many other artists in the UK that make Afro house music, for instance. And obviously the UK is where I was born and raised. So I always like to sit in niches which I think have incredible potential.
Right.
And I just love the genre and I love the music. So yeah, that's why I chose it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's go back to the conversation about Vitae, your watch brand. So what inspired you to start that business? What were your reasons for doing it? And yeah, where do you see it in the future?
Yeah, in terms of Vitae, I always say it was inspired by frustration.
Okay.
Frustration on two fronts. Firstly, I was working a job in the city I wasn't particularly passionate about.
Okay.
And that was obviously causing frustration. Like, I would go into work every day and think to myself, yeah, cool, I'm earning well, like the money's good, but money alone just wasn't doing it for me. And I knew I had to do something with a bigger purpose. And that leads me to my second frustration, is the fact that my dad's actually the first in my family line to learn to read and write.
Okay.
And that broke a cycle of poverty that has been plaguing us for generations.
Okay.
And I look at my dad's story and all that he's achieved, and I think there's so much potential that's being wasted on the continent of Africa, purely because of very small, minute things that act as blockades. So like school uniform, for instance, is one thing we tackle.
Right.
Electricity and solar lamps is another thing we tackle. So for me, I just wanted to be the answer. I was frustrated with the fact that there's so much wasted potential. And I just wanted to be the change I wanted to see. So, and that brings us to where Vitae is today. So yeah, Vitae is Latin for life. And our whole mantra is to be the fashion brand changing lives. So in essence, with every watch I design and every watch we sell, we help support a child-free education across sub-Saharan Africa. So yeah, that's what we do.
Wow. The thing is, I've known of you over the years. I follow you on Twitter and stuff like that. So I've always been aware of like kind of aware of what Vitae is about and that kind of thing. But just hearing you speak in more depth about what you're about in terms of your business and your music and everything, I'm very, very impressed. How does all that you do impact your family life?
Yeah, it impacts it for good, I would say. I mean, like, obviously it's been strenuous at times because I'm a bit of a workaholic. So if I have an idea at 1 a.m., I'm running to my laptop and I'm staying up all night to get it down. And like, so yeah, I would say at first it may have been a bit of a strain.
Yeah.
But now we've got to a point where my wife actually works full time within the business.
Okay.
And then being in Ghana, we can balance things a bit better in terms of having people like the support network to support us raising our daughter.
Right.
So we've got to a point where the balance is much better.
So where can people find you on socials if they want to connect with you and get to know more about your music and your business and so on?
Of course. So my social media handles are just my full name,
right?
Which is William followed by Adoasi, which is Adoasi.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where everyone can really find me. And it's the same across the board. So if you search on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, yeah, just my full name, it will come up there.
Okay, cool. Are there any underscores or anything like that?
No. Fortunately, my name's pretty rare, so I didn't need to draw for the underscores.
That's great stuff. Well, Ado, William, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, honestly.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You have a good rest of the day.
You too. Take care.
All right, bye. And that was Ado. Thank you so much for your time. That conversation was very inspiring, and I just know that Ado will continue to do great things. Like somebody like that, there's no telling how far he's gonna go, because he's just, yeah, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. But yes, as per usual, you can follow me on Twitter and have a chat with me if you like, Miss Jojo B, MZJOJOB, and you can follow That's My Tune in the following ways: That's My Tune Pod on Twitter, That's My Tune Podcast on Instagram, and if you'd like to email, That's My Tune Podcast at gmail.com. As per usual, subscribe, listen, tell your friends about this, especially music lovers, and watch out. Friday, there's going to be another bonus episode. You know how nice I like to be with you guys. Always, just being nice, Until then, I'm out. Bye.